What's up, guys? Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here with another video, and today I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, and I just didn't know how to come off about it without offending anybody, because even if you have an opinion on something, it seems nowadays that you're gonna offend anybody. So I had to go in with the notion that this is my opinion on why I will not buy or play The Last of Us 2. And you can respect my opinion on it. You don't have to respect my opinion on it. But I have strong principles on why. Now, most of those principles are my personal reasons and nothing to be shared. Only a few people understand my principles and accept that I have a different opinion on this. Now, The Last of Us Part 1. Let's just say that The Last of Us Part 1 was a phenomenal game. Though very overhyped, still a phenomenal game nonetheless. Now, we cut 2 years later. The Last of Us was remastered for this gaming generation, for PS4. Now, The Last of Us Part 2 is coming in about 10 days. And I'm just going to say right now, I don't believe a lot of the pre-order figures. I don't believe a lot of the projected sales. And no, the game will not be Game of the Year. I am sorry. Not as long as the first one exists, it will not be Game of the Year. I mean, there's a lot of things that prevent it from being Game of the Year, but that's just the main one. You're not going to top the original game. I'm sorry. Anyway, The Last of Us Part 2 had a lot of controversial things happening in the past few months, and I'm going to skim over that briefly with the leaks. I'm not going to get into it deeply, but that's why I'm skimming over this, saying that about the leaks and tweets and what's going to happen in the game. Since I'm not planning to play the game or support that game, look, if it's true that Joel and Ellie get killed by another character for no reason, and it's a new character they expect you to play as, that is already a fail and a bomb. Okay? See, what a lot of people don't understand is you're marketing to the wrong community. And I'm sorry to say it like that. Haven't you ever realized that when you market to social justice warriors, or you market to LGBT, or if you go for any of those parties or communities or groups, your product doesn't benefit from it. Just look at Birds of Prey. Look at Charlie's Angels. Look at anything that goes this route. Well, not The Last of Us Part 2 is not going that route. They're going to try to justify it in the game on why you're killing both those characters. And Ellie, about Ellie being lesbian. Okay, again, a lot of people are trying to say that, oh, Ellie was always that way. If you play the Left Behind DLC. I've played the Left Behind DLC plenty of times. I've played The Last of Us plenty of times. And all I have to say is, they went too far with that concept. It's like they set in stone that Ellie was going to be lesbian. You know, when she was only a teenager in the first game, and yes, she had a kiss with another girl, and had, you know, comments about the interest in the opposite sex. But I take it to this: every teenage girl from that generation, like from when the game first came out, teenage girls from that generation forward were already expressing bisexual differences and interests. And yeah, I've had a couple girls that I've dated that they were bisexual, but now those girls ended up married and ended up having kids. Okay, so it just shows you that it's not entirely set in stone. So they basically took something of Ellie having, I'm going to call it a phase. She was having a phase in the game because, one, she can't experience normal relations in this world. I'm looking at it in the confines of the world itself, of The Last of Us. But also, in the world that The Last of Us lives in, same-sex relationships kind of really don't make sense in the context. Okay, it's the end of the world, and if it's the, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody that's gay or anything like that, I'm not, but I'm saying in the context and confines of the world set up in The Last of Us, you need a man and a woman to be together if you want to recreate or procreate on the earth, to restart, or if not save what is left of humanity, so humanity can continue to survive. But the way they're setting it up with The Last of Us 2, I mean, let's be real, you're not only shooting your franchise in the foot, you're shooting all the people that supported you the first time in the first game in the foot. And to be honest, people in those communities, do you ever wonder why they don't support what you do? What, like, game makers, movie makers, TV show makers do? Like, you see those communities don't support you because they don't want up in the air, they don't want it to be a big commodity of their sexual orientation or choice. Okay? It's not worth forcing something into the game that has no reason, or in fact, not enough basis to be there. Okay? You can't just take a character and turn them into something they're not. Alright? A lot of films have been doing that now. A lot of shows. And unfortunately, it's kind of died down with video games a little bit. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hope that The Last of Us 2 actually bombs. Or at least doesn't do as well as the first. Why? Because it will show developers that you should stick to marketing to the community and people that supported you first. Okay? Give your fans something more true to what they envisioned going forward. Because I know a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of gamers and The Last of Us fans are not happy with where the course of the story is going. Okay? I'm pretty sure that there's fan theories years ago, before The Last of Us 2 even came out, of what The Last of Us 2 could have been or should have been. Alright? The Last of Us 2 killing Joel and killing Ellie with a golf club, mind you, from those leaks, if they are true, and I doubt there's enough time to even remove that from the game, you know. But it's just showing to you that you're pushing for the wrong audience. And I'm not saying it's bad to push towards an open market and open communities and people to try to get all interests in. But it should be done correctly, not done in the way you think works. I think fans have a better understanding of their characters and their stories more than the game developers do. It seems like you should take more influence from what your fans has suggested where the story should go. Hell, a fan's story for The Last of Us Part 2 will probably be better than what The Last of Us 2 will end up being. And I didn't want to say that. I actually hope that The Last of Us 2 would be a good game. Now, yes, people will defend it in terms of maybe its gameplay is really good. Maybe the mechanics are great. I'm not judging it based on that. I am judging it based on its story decisions and where the course of the characters will end up. Because whether you accept it or not, The Last of Us Part 2 is more or less of a sequel and more of just community baiting, to bait in other communities to support this series. Why? Because at the end of the day, the only reason game developers and movie makers put this type of messaging in their films is because they think they're going to get the extra bang for their buck from those communities, when at the end of the day, they will not. Anyway, this is Emperor John, Kill3D Gaming. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video.